Hi, this is Susie with Creative Cafe, and I am going to do a tutorial on the Cirque mini album, how I put the bags together on that album I made. I don't have it to show you with me, so if you need to see what that looks like, just go to my channel and find the Cirque paper bag album. And anyway, this is how I put it together. What I used was the Dollar Tree paper bags. I used them because they're pretty sturdy. They're bigger than the bags that I get at Michael's. So, and they're just better than just a regular lunch bag that you get from the grocery store. So, anyway, this is what I used. And they're pretty reasonable. You get 15, I think, in the package for $1. So they're pretty reasonable. But anyway, what you want to do to start with is you want to take your bag and you want to cut off just right at the edge of this little jagged indentation that there is. I just go right underneath it so it has a nice sawed-off edge there, just straight and smooth. Then, if you use the Dollar Tree bags, then these measurements are going to be right for you. And here's kind of what you're going to need. You're going to need 6 bags that you've trimmed the edges off. You're going to need 3 pieces of cardstock that are 6 1/4 by 5. And then just score in the center or fold it and bend your center. Now what I did was use the craft because I want it to kind of blend with the bag. But that's just my way of doing it. It really doesn't have to be that way. Now for my one that I will use that attaches to the front, I'm going to use the craft to attach it. But if I had my paper out and I was working on my album, I would actually do it in a cardstock that was the color of the page that I wanted to use. So, but for this, I'm going to use this as a mini, but I will probably just paper over the craft. That way I can just show you in the tutorial. And anyway, like I said, these measurements will be right for you if you use the Dollar Tree bags. If you don't, then the easiest way to know how to cut your little cardstock pieces, and they do need to be the heavyweight cardstock. If you get the thin, then I'm afraid it'll probably, when you flip the book, eventually it will just come apart, fray, you know, and just pull apart. So this is how you'll measure for a different bag. Just measure where your flap is. So this flap was 3 1/8 inch. So I doubled that, which made it 6 1/4. But if your flap is just 2 3/4 inch wide, you're going to have to do that twice. So, and I'm not sure offhand what size that would be just offhand, but it would be like 6, I think, or something close to that, 5 1/2. But anyway, that's how you will measure. Just simply measure this and take it twice. Then measure down, and this is going to be the length. This bag is 5 inches, which is pretty standard anyway on a bag. 5 inches down, and then you would make your thing twice the size of your flap. So, and that's exactly what I did here. I just made it twice the size of my flap. So, anyway, you're going to need 3 of those, and you're going to need 6 paper bags. So let's get started. Here is the 2 bags that I'm going to start with. Now, what I actually done is this is a standard 5 here, but I actually just shaved a little bit more off of it to make it just a little smaller so that it actually didn't show at the top of my bag. So, and I do use scoring tape. You can use sticky strips, scoring tape, just whatever it is that you need there to just use a really good adhesive. So what I'm going to do is oops, I didn't do very well there. Peel this off. And I forgot that the craft cardstock really likes to peel apart there. So I have to be very careful when I take off my thing here. So what I'm going to do, since I kind of tore a little bit, and I am going to use this for an album, I'm going to add a little adhesive over that to hold that good. Okay, so what you want to do then is you want to take this, and you really want to, I'm not sure which is easier for you, if you need to go this way or this way, but what you need to do is just simply put it right in the fold there of just a little under, I guess, of the fold, and to attach your bag. And then this is going to be the same way. You just want to go not on the fold, but right up to the fold with a little bit of room where it can bend, and attach your bag. So this is what it looks like right there on the back side and the front side. And there you have your fold for your bag. Okay, then what you want to do is take another bag, and on these I usually always use a glue stick. And what I do is simply glue. It looks like I got something black on my glue stick last time I used it, but I just get my glue stick, and I like to use a glue stick because if you need to slide your paper bag around to get it in the right spot, if you use sticky strip, you can't do that. Or if you use like the ATG gun, you can't do that. So then the next thing I do is I take my bag, and you want to go back to back, same sides here, and just make it fit right on top of that bag. Okay? So then you have your first page, your second page, and then there'll be that page. Then this is where you're going to use the one that is actually going to sit on top. So, see if I can do this easier this time and not rip my cardstock. I don't know why craft cardstock does that, but it really rips really easy if you're not careful when you add your adhesive on there. And all this undone. Okay. And then you're simply going to take it, and you want to, I'm not sure, it's kind of hard to do when you're doing it out in for everybody to see. Okay. I'm going to make sure that I get it just right. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to attach it to the top of this flap. Okay, and that looks about right. So there is my next page. Kind of unstuck here. Okay, then you want to take your next piece of cardstock, and all your little things off there. I like to use quite a bit of adhesive because I don't want it coming apart. And then what you're going to want to do is simply kind of move this over, take your bag here with the flap going to your left, and just place it behind there, right up to the fold line. You don't want to go in it, but just right above it. Okay? Take this bag, and you're going to do the same thing, going right up to the to the fold line. Okay. And then taking your glue stick again, just glue this good and get it good and gluey though. Don't skimp on your glue, because you want it to be good and adhered. So you want to make sure that you use plenty of glue. And when you get it good and glued all over, I'm about out of glue in my glue stick, then you want to simply take your last bag that you did, put it right up against, kind of get your pages. These are the two that just got glued together. Just make sure that they're pretty even with each other, and they look like they are. Give them a good press down. Excuse me. Got a frog. Okay, and anyway, this is what your bag's going to look like. And there's your pages right there. And this is just exactly how I done the Cirque Bag Album. Okay, then the next thing you want to do is you want to figure out what, if any, of the little pockets you want. Now, I know that I don't want any pockets on my first page. So I'm just going to put some of my tape right there and just shut that one down, because I know that I don't want that. But now on my second page, I'm going to want a pocket. So what I do is simply take some sticky strip and just kind of rip it off right where it shows the flap's going to be. Tear that apart, and then adhere that down. And I just do that, and that creates my pocket, and I just do that wherever I know I'm going to want a pocket. So I'm undecided if I want the pockets here or not, so I'm not going to attach any more down. Same way here, I'm not sure which of these I want to be pockets. So, but just do it like this. If you don't want the pocket, adhere it down. If you do, use your sticky strip and go ahead and put the two corners down. Then, and this will be a part 2 tutorial, because I'm going to paper this and get it ready for my mini, and then I'm going to attach my covers and do the binding, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you're going to need, if you're going to put a binding on your paper bag, if you're not, then really all you need to do is paper the top of this in whatever paper you want. So, and you know, if you don't plan on having a binding. But if you plan on having a chipboard cover with a binding, then you're going to need 2 pieces. And I've not used heavyweight chipboard. I've used kind of a medium weight chipboard. And they need to be at 9.5 by 5 1/4. 9.5 by 5 1/4. You want it just a little bit bigger than your bag. I used my crocodile chomp corners, and I chomped the corners. Now, I like to have my covers just a little bit bigger than my book, and actually I probably should have added about another 1/8 inch on the end of this cover, since I did cut the corners. If you don't cut the corners, the 9.5 is fine, but if you do, you probably need another 1/8 of an inch added on there, just to bring it out a little bit more. But anyway, that is how you make the book. I'm going to paper this, I'm going to get it ready, and then I'm going to put the chipboard cover on with the binding. And also, as you can see, I went ahead and stained around my edges because I'm going to be papering the front, and then the back is simply going to be so attached to it that I'm not going to paper the back, because as you can see, not much of it's going to show, and I've already stained it, so it's good to go on the back side. But anyway, I will get this done, and I will get another tutorial on how to do the binding. I hope that helps for those who had questions on how to put that, or how I put the Cirque paper bag together. So, I'll be back with the binding tutorial. Thanks so much for watching.